Thank you, Abraham.
Yeah.
I've been a follower for a long time,
Yeah.
and obviously I have a lot of questions. But I think one of the questions I have right now is how to deal with my son. I have an 8-year-old son, and I'm trying to let him be free and not get in his way of his manifestations and creations. But he's a little rebel. And
then you're not letting him be free. He wouldn't be rebelling against you if you were letting him be free. Do you think that he's rebelling against your behavior, or is he rebelling against your concerned thoughts?
Probably both, I think, because
we want to just stick something in here briefly, and then we'll hear you more and we'll sort this out. This is going to be a really comfortable and helpful conversation. Go back to what we were talking about earlier about owning the room. When you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you have so much attraction power, and it's pure positive energy. So what you attract from someone when you're tuned in like that feels good to them as you attract it. You're bigger and more powerful and seen as more dominant in father-son situations. You're almost always dominating what you are attracting. So you kind of have a picture of that. Yes. So now imagine yourself as the 8-year-old. Put yourself in those shoes and imagine someone attracting from you because they're dominant, because they've been thinking about you since the day you were born. They've been thinking about you even before you were born. They think about you all the time. And this is kind of a big bad world, and they're worried about you, and they want you to fit in, and they don't want you to make waves, and they want you to do the things that are smart for you, and they want you to be safe. So they've got worrisome thoughts about you because they love you so much, but they've got worrisome thoughts about you, and they own the room. So they're attracting from you stuff that isn't what your inner being is attracting, and it's causing a tug of war in you because your inner being is calling your security forth, and your worrisome father is calling your insecurity forth. Can you kind of get a sense of that? Don't you just hate it when you are misunderstood by someone and they're so sure that they know who you are, and what they know doesn't have anything to do with you? That's true. What anybody thinks about you doesn't have anything to do with you. It has everything to do with the way life has touched them and so forth. So do you think it's possible that you're attracting from a place of insecurity rather than from a place of security? That you're attracting from a place of worry rather than from a place of knowing this well-being? And so you are guarded, and he wants to be free. And it doesn't really matter how much freedom you allow him in terms of moving around the world. If you are worried about him, then you are holding him in a sort of tug-of-war bondage. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So you want to give us an example of some things that happen?
Well, for example, he loves to cuss,
Yeah, don't bring him here. We would be a bad example
I
today.
say, yeah, so and so I mean, they're little things, but
people
at
always
the same time,
cuss, and when Esther flows it in response, it's because we're explaining what someone has been feeling, but it is always an indication of not being under the influence of source.
It's kind of rebelling in some ways, and
For
example, giving me the finger would be one. For example, he says,
But under what conditions? What just happened before that? He woke up and skipped into the room and gave you the finger?
Well, he just thinks it's fun, and probably because he plays with his kid friends like that at school or something. So I'm trying to say, it's not appropriate to give somebody the finger or to cuss to people, and so I'm trying to guide him, but
he's doing just fine in his circle of friends, and they're doing it with a different frame of reference than you're receiving it. And so what's activated in you when that happens? What is the underlying concern? And it is concern that's within you. He needs to behave, or he's going to make trouble for himself.
He's not respecting his parents. That's I guess my
All right.
concern, and
All
I'm
right.
trying to tell him.
So let's just start right there.
Yeah.
So your feelings are hurt. Are you saying?
Yes.
Your feelings are hurt. It's not so much that you're worried about him. It's that you don't like the way he's treating you. Your feelings are hurt. Yes. The situation is he's disrespecting you and he's not behaving in the way you thought you had taught him. So you feel, writing on this side of the page, you feel maybe that you haven't been a successful parent, like maybe you failed some things, maybe you missed some things. No?
Not necessarily. I don't feel that way.
So it isn't about him. This is really about you. I'm being disrespected. I deserve to be respected. Of all of the people in the world who should respect me, it should be this one, because of all that I've done and all that I've cared about. Well,
I grew up respecting my parents, highly respecting my parents, so maybe I'm expecting the same from my son. So did you respect your parents or fear them? It's always a combination, I think. More than anything, I love them more than anything.
What we're getting at is, we're just going to say this and then we'll walk through it together. Your parents, for some reason, evoked respect from you that you are not evoking from your son, because it's attraction, attraction, attraction. So they had something going on. Well, it was cultural and it was long living and there was a lot of momentum and a lot of expectation. It was a different time. Their expectations about you were different. But now your son lives in a world that from your perspective is crazy, in a world where there's so little respect that's being shown all over the place. So you're not expecting respect from your son in the way your parents expected respect from you. What we're wanting you to understand is that this is an attraction problem, not a behavioral problem. This is an attraction problem, not a discipline problem. This is a you problem, not a son problem. If you can just hear this, no matter what the subject is, if you can just accept that. So I feel disrespected and I feel dishonored and I feel a little confused, and I respected my parents, I know I did, and he's not respecting us in the way that he should. So there it is. So now let's move to the other side of the page. Do your best to step away from that subject that has stirred you up, and some sentences that can get you on this side of the page more quickly are statements such as, what does my inner being think? That's a helpful one. Or, who am I dominantly? In my life in general, I am respected or disrespected. Which is it? In life in general, apart from
respected.
Respected. I stand clear in who I am, or I'm confused about who I am.
I'm clear.
You are. You're not equivocating on that at all. You came right to that. That's who I am. I understand my point of attraction. My point of attraction is confusing.
I understand my
You
point of
do.
attraction.
You do understand your point of attraction. The world is good to me. I struggle in this world.
The world is good to me and I love this world.
So now you've calibrated to who you are. You just did it this one time, but now your vibration has changed relative to everything, including this thing that's bothering you. So now it's possible that as you do this now and then again and then again and then again, maybe each time something comes up, when you get a clear space, you go and do that. What happens is you find yourself feeling more and more secure in that. You are really secure there. But we mean you feel secure in it even in relationship to some of this other stuff that happens. And then what begins to be evident to you is you get less of that other stuff because you're owning the room. Your point of attraction has shifted because you're remembering your roots and who you really are. You're not letting your son and the behavior of people around the planet be your point of attraction, which is causing your feeling. Eventually you could even write, or easily you could write, my inner being knows my value. My inner being knows the value of others. My inner being knows that life is good and that we are all right on track and that we are blessed and honored and revered. I know that well-being is dominant. I know that all really is well. I know who this person is. I felt him before he even got here. I know who he is. He is finding his way. He's in the process of exploring, like we all are. He's exploring under different circumstances. circumstances than I did, and that's a good thing. He's finding his way, and I'm solid in what I know. It's attraction, attraction, attraction. I would evoke from him in my environment as my parents evoked from me in their environment. It's just taking more calibration on my part, because when my parents were evoking from me, they could sort of just observe the culture around them and expect it, because there was more of that happening. I have to calibrate with more determination in these days, which is what evolution and expansion is all about. I knew that. I didn't say put me in an environment where it's easy to feel good. I said put me into contrasting experience where I will know what I don't want, which will calibrate what I do want, and then I'll know by the way I feel which direction I'm calibrating toward, and I'll calibrate toward the wholeness of who I am, to the respect that I am, and to the love that I am, and that will be my point of attraction, and all around me will feel that dominance within me. I will not be dissuaded by any circumstances, especially the circumstance of this person that I love more than life itself. Yeah?
Yes.
Really good.
Yes.
Really, 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 really good. Something more?